Okay, I don't know if I've introduced myself to you guys. My name is Jasiki Keys. I am your ELAR IDF for the area with Dr. Wolfkill. And so basically all that means is her boss is my boss. That's all it means. And then if you guys need anything curriculum wise, I'm here to help you as well. I think you have an LCST that comes over that actually writes curriculum too. Those positions will fade out, I think, after this year. Then you have your ELST and you have your IST, right? That's a lot of acronyms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Today we are meeting so we can go over your M-class data and try to talk about how the data is used to inform your instruction. Okay. All right. So, Ms. Alvarado, I will give you a copy of this as well.
Thank you.
And then I will also give you everything I give you, you guys can keep.
Okay.
These are a copy of the goals
Thanks.
for Dibbles 8. And how do you, I say your name, Mikhail or
Michael.
Michael? I was saying McKaylee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, so there's yours. And here is it from M class, another way from M class. Okay, and so basically what I did was I went in and M class grouped your students for you. You guys are in first grade, correct? And you teach SLR and you teach ELAR, English language. I think they named it reading language arts now.
Yeah.
And so I still stick with the ELAR, SLR because that's just what I do. How long have you been into teaching?
40 years.
40 years. Wow. You have a wealth of knowledge. A wealth of knowledge. Have all of your years been
No, here in Shore Haven or in Garland, 17 years maybe.
Okay.
Around 17 years, perhaps.
And has that all been in one grade level?
Yes, here it has. But
Okay.
in other places, all grades.
Okay.
From the little ones to high school.
Oh, bless you. And how long have you been teaching?
This is my second year.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. So you're still like new,
Yes.
fresh, ready to hear things.
Mm-hmm.
You seem like you have a good partner here
Yeah.
that knows a lot. Okay.
So do I, because she has a lot of enthusiasm.
She brings the new
So
innovative
fresh.
things, right? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So let's take a really basically what I did, guys, I'm gonna look at this one first. This one, which shows your
Scores
mhm.
grade.
and how M class grouped them. And what I did was I sorted by the composite score. So I made all of the reds go to the top, and then your yellows, and then your greens and blues. And I did a front to back copy, so the remainder is on the back. I then took that information, and a lot of times when we see these composite scores, we look and we go, oh, wow, that's super bad. Like it's just because that's red there. Well, if you look here, and I'm on yours, Miss Alvarado, if you look at this student here with the 312,
Okay.
it's not all that bad because it's could be better, but he has blue or being yellow here, and then if you go a little bit further, he has green.
That is the auditory part.
Mm-hmm. So everything, and that we know helps us with TELPAS, right? So that's not all bad. I think for me, I will look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe the first 4 or 5, and then that's not that bad either because you still have this. Okay, but they do need some work because of the discontinued. Okay, so just kind of breaking this down a little bit further and not just looking at it as an overview and saying, oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. You do have work to do, but it's not all bad. Okay, what I did was, if you look at this on here, and yours is going to look a little different than hers. I grouped them for you based on this information that I took from you.
Just save me that.
And this is just a suggestion. It's not anything you have to do. But I took all of your people that needed the lowest level of help, which is the phonological awareness and letter sounds. That's like not dealing with any print, just pictures and sounds. That's it. And I grouped them together, students, and then gave some target areas with activities. And as we know, the activities come from in class.
And plus, yes, we can.
Now that's not your only place, but it's a starting place. Is there, if you look over this, is there anything you think you might want to change or?
Well, I agree with those names where they are because more or less I was trying to start my groups for the rotations of the centers or stations, and they are the ones I am sending the letters for tutoring, informing them about low scores. I'm already telling the parents, and so these are the kids that we need to start
Okay.
with a little fire.
And then if you look on the back here, you have a couple of students that need individualized support. And what that means is that one-on-one, not in a group, not at teacher's table, but like maybe a good 5 minutes, just you and them conferencing. You're not going to have that because you didn't have any discontinue.
Oh.
When I get to yours is a lot more. I'm doing ours because I'm going through it real quick. But that would be more for you. Like for students who are significantly below grade level or discontinued, consider providing individualized support or specialized programs tailored to their specific needs. And so when we look on here, it will be these kids that had discontinued.
Yes, all of these had that discontinued.
Is that something you did or?
No, because when when you start testing them, it asks, there is a part that gives you instructions and says if they fail in 5 in a row, you need to discontinue. But automatically the program says stop the test. So even before I click on the button, it's already there, a little sign that tells you.
Okay.
And it doesn't give you access to the next because there are all the little buttons. You go. You start with the name of the letter, the sounds of the letters, and so on.
Okay.
But when you already stop there, when you look at the other one, it's not available to click on. It's like faded.
Grayed out. Okay.
Great.
Okay. All right. And so since now that you've told me that, I thought it was you discontinuing them. So now that you've told me that, I know this does say individualized support, but you have a lot. That's a lot. So
yes, it's a lot.
You can't do one-on-ones with that.
Now, the first situation, you want to talk about the specific students? Do you want also that? Because, for example, this girl, the first one in this line that got the lowest score in the class, I guess, she is just that she doesn't talk. She talks at home. It's like selected mutism. Yeah, she has my parents, I think, have identified, and they are in the process of doing the evaluation here at school. So.
She's still not gonna talk.
Exactly. She's still.
But she's gonna learn.
Yes, I can see she follows me. Her listening and comprehension still very low.
Okay.
But I think she gets into her little world and tries to do other things behind under the table. So I need to prompt her all the time. But I think she can follow me. Okay. More than we think she's doing. She can understand better than what I think.
Okay.
Maybe she needs to be more in her comfort zone.
Okay.
Hopefully she will.
Well, she'll still be learning. She'll have some growth. I'm sure, right?
I send Mama no because we do CISO. We are putting some lessons in CISO so that maybe at home she can try to ask her to read. Or we were doing science, describe, compare these two balls. So I'm going to see if Mom helps me with that.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. You have a plan. Okay. So on here, I did the groupings, and the way that I did it, do y'all see groups on Friday?
On Friday? Yeah, we're supposed to see them.
Okay. Because I know some schools do it Monday through Thursday. I just did it Monday through Friday for a 45-minute window and 3 groups within that 45-minute window. Now, if you change that, that's totally up to you. But that was just the way that I did that at 15-minute rotations, and it gives you a schedule for a 4-day rotation. So like you'll see 1, 2, 3, on Monday, and then on Tuesday you start with group 4,
Okay.
and then you end with 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
And so I put the students and what they are needing. This is only from M class data though. I know you guys have math, and I know you might have other things that y'all do as well.
I was using also my M class. I was already grouping, and I think there is a lot of
Overlap?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. Uh-huh. Those are the groups that I have.
And on the Padlet, everything piece of paper that we're going over, you will have access to this. Okay? Even the measures that I gave you guys as well.
The only thing I was ambitious and group everything for 3 rotations, but at this point, it was so messy in my class that I am going with 2 rotations.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
I can increase it, so I need to keep practicing and working on that
Okay.
because there are many kids that need
Need the help.
Yes, need
Do
help.
any of yours get pulled? I'm assuming some get pulled as well, right?
Yes, a few of them.
Okay. And I did not take an account for that on here
Okay.
because I did not know like dyslexia or anything like that. So
Okay.
even these that I have on here, it might, you will look at it and it might change. Okay. Okay. So for yours, and I was really not understanding why I couldn't do this for hers, but after I was looking at the data, I think you guys do the same measures, but in Lectura it's a little different. Yeah. So for yours, I was able to assign the students that are well below or well below most areas. The way that M class does it for Lectura and for the RLA portion is it's a linear measurement. And what that means is it groups them to the lowest area that they need help with. So there's no, even if you have comprehension, phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, it's not gonna put you in the comprehension because you can't read until you get that phonological awareness piece done. So that's how the groupings occur. And I have 2 slide decks on the Padlet that will give you a lot of information on what to do. The first one, the one with no picture on it, I probably wouldn't look at that one. Yeah, look at that one first on the Padlet because that one's gonna really help y'all with honing down in on what to do. But M class really kind of helps us with all of that and takes all of that away from us. So we do have other programs. Y'all are personalized learning, and so you have Lexia as well. Do y'all do Lexia?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, I'm going to training today on that. Have you guys been to anything? With
We had our first training on Wednesday.
Okay, and they didn't say anything about
Lexia?
Lexia. Okay, so it's just the amplified boost.
Right now only that. And then in Amira, I discovered we have a test, but I think we don't have instruction now. There is not a path. So if they take the test in Spanish, because the I-ready is in English only, but there is a little part that says you can assign a test in Spanish. However, they took the test yesterday. I was excited about that, but there is no path in Spanish. I think some schools, because when I went to that workshop on Wednesday, we were together, some ladies from other schools said that they are using it there. So I was wondering, maybe they're the principal.
You're supposed to do Amira, I think.
So my next step was I was telling Mrs. Grimes yesterday, I already took the test. I didn't know if I should have or not. And the kids, I can see it was completed, but it was last minute yesterday when we did that. So my next step is, because I saw another option that says instruction. I'm not sure if the same way I assign the test, I will be able to assign instruction. I don't know yet. I will try to
I
find
think
out.
Amira.
Or maybe it needs to be paid for. I don't know.
No, you have Amira.
Yeah. No, it was I-ready. For Amira, yes, we have Amira. But the other I-ready is English and reading in English and math in English, which is good for us. But there was no option in Spanish, so the teacher can assign a test, but there is no instructional path. That's what
I'm gonna look at that with you
told.
because I think what they are wanting, they meaning the district, I think they want you guys, the lower grades, to use a certain program, Amplified Boost. And what would yours be?
Mine, what we're doing is I just need to pull out activities from M class.
No, they should have
And
machine
then
learning too. I think
we
yours
have
should
Amira.
be
Amira, yes,
Yeah.
Amira, we're using Amira. We
Okay.
have just started.
But you're saying you want iReady as well.
But I would love to have that option too, because I saw some kids, I cannot intervene, but they were in the, I'm sorry, that is the attendance.
That's okay.
Alarm.
Y'all need to take attendance for you.
It was the attendance alarm. They were asking very specific, the test was asking specific questions about vocabulary and letters and sounds.
Okay.
So I assume that if there is some instructional after that or follow-up activities,
Mhm.
according to each kid, as it does Amira, maybe it can also help those kids.
And that would be interesting to see. I know for the upper grade levels, there is a pathway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that any student that would log in and do the diagnostic test, because that's what the program does, it assigns them a pathway
Mhm.
based on how.
Hopefully, yes, there is one, because at least it exists, because the ladies that were on my table, we couldn't talk too much,
Yeah.
we were listening to
Yeah, I
the
got it.
speaker, but they were, and I was like, oh my God, I need to try this. So yesterday I did the test with
Yeah.
the kids, and then I said, next step, I will see if I can do the instructional.
I think that's cool.
I know last year I was pulling lessons from, because not everybody had the iReady reading, but the district has purchased it for everybody now, all grade levels.
And I love that, because as you see, my class is very low. I don't want to be negative, but I need to be
Yeah.
realistic. If my kids really don't know the letters, don't know the sounds of the vowels, I will be on my table, and I want them to be in their spots, and I can assign many activities. That is not the problem, but I want them to really work and exploit that time.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are doing targeted things, so you don't know the L, you're practicing with the L,
Yeah,
things like that. So that programs can help a little bit.
I think
Those
it is.
15, 20 minutes that they're working there.
I think it is. And I was a big believer in giving incentives to do work at home. I don't know how y'all do it, but that's what I love, doing stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go here and on your students, and I know that we don't like to have more than 6 in a group. That's just the norm because it kind of gets a little overcrowded.
Mhm.
But the program did this for you. And you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the group.
But 3 of them get pulled out.
Awesome. Okay, so that and that was what I was banking on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I didn't know, so that's absolutely awesome. So in yours, I was able to assign colors
Mm-hmm.
like this does, like our the test from where did that go? Oh, right here. I gave you this too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the one where no, I didn't give you that. I want you to have one like this. Did I give you that?
Oh, no. Okay, that's yours? Isn't that yours? That must be yours.
Oh, Lamar?
No.
These are my kids. These are the names
Okay,
of this.
it's over here. I put it in that bag right there. Because I realized yesterday, thank you,
Mhm.
that I didn't have it. And I said, I'm not going in there today without this.
Was that I just finished it yesterday?
You did? Okay. Because yours did say one student was still in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So yours will look a little different now than this because that one student is
Mhm.
done. But I was able to assign your paper colors based on this because it was just easier to do for me.
Okay.
Yours, not so much. But you know who your students are. You know from those categories.
Well, what I have seen in the class reflects what I
Okay.
saw here. That's what I started with, the ones that were my big concern. And I was like, oh no, I wish I was wrong with these results. That's what I decided to do. This was an optional activity
Okay.
because it was listening comprehension. And I
that's
can
what
see
tell
that many
mom.
kids have a very low listening comprehension, or they have their skills need to be reinforced.
Okay.
I am already working on that, but I wanted to make sure what I see is real, right? So
And you didn't do that. You
that
didn't
can
do
help
this.
me.
What lesson?
You didn't do the listening one.
Your language,
Yes.
it was
I did all.
optional.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Is that what yours said? Oral language?
Yes, oral language, lengua
And so
general.
that was optional for you?
Yes, it
Optional
said
for me too.
optional. It was optional.
We usually
But,
do it in the middle of the year, but I was like, I'm gonna start with
Yes,
this.
I think it was important
Okay.
because, you know, some kids really have very low skills
I
in
like that.
listening. Like for instructions, directions.
I would have never.
It's optional. There were other two optional activities that I would have loved to do, but that time was, you know, we were
That is awesome.
getting
See, that's
close to
why teachers, you guys know your students. Y'all know what to do in those classrooms. I wouldn't. I would have been like, okay, these are the measures. This is what you do. So I like that. I'm gonna take. You mind if I pass that advice along?
It's a lot of time with this, spent in this, but I think it's worth because that gives you the so when somebody comes to your class and what are you doing with one student?
Yes.
So I am learning exactly what's going on with each
I
kid,
love
right? That's a
that.
moment that
I
we
love
know, oh, this kid needs this and that.
And we know that's gonna help our students in the long run show growth, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So on here, and honestly, guys, I'm going to be very honest with you and very transparent. All this is this done different ways. Because for me, this is very good, and once I click on the student, I can drill down and get specifics of what they need, and of course the activities and all that kind of thing, right? But I also need an overview. And so this to me was my way of taking the details and putting it in an overview. Okay, and so on here for activities for group 1 would be building skills with letter, name, and sound. So basically the same thing, the phonemic awareness. That's the smallest part of literacy, the sound. How do I pronounce the word? I have vowel valleys in your room, so that kind of thing with your mirrors and things like that. And then you're at the students that are near or at benchmark levels were here. And if you notice, this was kind of cool because it starts off with challenge. And I thought, I want to challenge the ones that haven't made it. Okay. But it says, challenge these students with more advanced reading materials or higher level comprehension activities. So they're like there, but just not quite there. And then you only had one student in blue and one student in green. So I grouped them together. Okay. Well, it says more than that. What did I do? Yeah, more than one. But on here, I think we only had, I think it was only one. Yeah, on here. Notice how on here you just have 2 greens, right?
Oh no, it's on more on the back.
Is it? Oh, yours is? Okay, that's the second page. Okay, so I grouped all those students together.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it was 2, 3, 4 in the green and 1 in the blue. So I just put it all together.
Gotcha.
All right. And then there's a lot here, but if you notice, it says students who can excel in certain areas, but they struggle in others. Okay. So this guy right here, he's doing well with letter names, but he needs improvement with other areas. Okay. And then that's where that detail will come back. But I also provided you with more differentiated. To me, these are the hardest. These groups right here are because you have to challenge them, and then whatever you give them, they'll get done, and you got to keep it going. And I'm like, I'm supposed to have you in a lesson for 7 to 10 days, and you're done in 2 days. So to me, these are the ones they kind of get forgotten about a little bit, forgotten about, but this is where you'll really see the growth.
Okay.
If we keep them going. Do y'all have anything that y'all see that I'm not noticing? Anything that I put on here that might not be able to be done?
Well, I have a student right now that just qualified for special ed.
Oh.
She is very, very lost. She is eager to do everything with everyone, but as soon as we start something, I think she noticed she can just not get the concepts. She tries, she follows the key, she tries to copy, but then she starts quietly and starts playing. I think she gets distracted,
Zones out.
a little bit
Okay.
frustrated. So this is one case there.
I'm sorry. I hate that. Okay. Also, and on yours, I think I put a blurb down there as well about the progress monitoring. So you guys will do your tier twos, and if you have students that are pulled, the interventionist does it, right?
Okay.
The progress monitor.
I would think so because she pulls them during our times where we would normally do stations. So hopefully she
Okay.
will do it with.
Okay.
I can ask them.
I think that's how it's supposed to go.
Mhm.
So I will be working with these students on my table while they are doing other targeted activities in their rotations, right? Just want to make sure.
And you can insert yourself in as one of the stations, so to speak,
yes.
but it would just be called teacher table.
Yes.
But yes, that's what I would do. And in first grade, because I have taught that level as well, to me, I've seen much success with mini lesson, no more than 7 minutes. Research says that students can listen as long as they are an age. So if you have a 5-year-old, they should be able to sit for 5 minutes and really focus and listen. Now, it's not always the truth, but that's what research says. And so I just find that those mini lessons, letting them go, do it, we come back together, see how you did. I correct misconceptions. I do another mini lesson on a different teak, and I'll let you go do what you do. And then we come back together. Like my whole day runs that way. I know because of scheduling, maybe some things like that can happen. But to me, when the students have more accountability in their learning, that's when they really excel. You don't see it right away, but I would say right before Thanksgiving break is when you tend to see it in first grade. For me, that's what I've always kind of witnessed and experienced. But I don't know, kids are different today, but so that's an option as well. And I know a lot of times you guys are saying, teachers are saying, oh, with this Amplify, I can't get through it. And for you guys, you got skills and knowledge. So that's a lot, and it might not be able to be done with just a small group here and a small group there, you know. It might have to be more whole group. But I am a big advocate for as much small groups as you can do and get the students accountable for their learning. Even I had first graders tracking their own teaks on a bar graph. And what does that mean? That means you have to do activities. So yours might not look like Johnny's. Johnny is doing this, and that might look fun, but you can see on your bar graph, you need help with this. And they understand that kind of talk. And imagine if we start them now in first grade with that, when they get up to like 5th or even 3rd, they're programmed that way, and they're accountable for their learning, you know, and that's what keeps the behavior and stuff down too. That's just my spirit.
I think they're going back to that with the personalized learning.
Okay.
Because they shifted like our amplified lessons and stuff will be at small group.
Good.
And then you can go and you pull another
Oh,
one.
I'm so excited. I love that. Are y'all excited for that? You probably are just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, yes, I think it will target and help to not waste any minute, because you know exactly why I'm going to teach this kid with this group, and what am I going to put this kid with this group. He doesn't need to learn the L, the P, and the O. He already knows all these letters. So let's do exactly what he really needs.
Exactly. I love that.
And I was surprised. I have 2 students that are wonderful readers. Reading the class, raise your hand, intervene. Reading comprehension is really good.
Okay.
Upper thinking, and they don't. And I was surprised with the phonemic awareness, the sounds.
Okay. Yeah, that's the sounds along
And
with
I
the
guess
spelling.
I haven't noticed it much yet because we're not writing. But maybe when you write, they're more exposed.
And that's gonna help them too with those constructive responses that y'all don't have to worry about right now. But the upper grade teachers are praying that y'all get those babies right. I noticed yours, you have a lot of yellow spots as well. So even though your composites are red, you still have within those areas
Yellow.
Yeah, so not so bad. Work to do as well, but hope. There's hope there. What are your thoughts? You think?
Yeah, and then I know it from the training we did, like even though he's green, I would focus on, like when he would go to his station, I'll focus on like that red.
Exactly.
And bringing the red up, and then once we get the red to like yellow, then we would go to the yellow.
Let's see where his name is. This person. What group would he be in?
He's in the group 3.
Is that
Oh
accurate?
no, he's in group 2.
So see how that's that linear? How I was saying it groups it to the lowest need, and that would be the where was it? Which one?
Was about the green one.
So is that his lowest, or is that the lowest?
This is his lowest.
So it grouped him
His
to the lowest.
Gotcha.
You see, I was like, I'm gonna see if it works, and it really did work. So I'm like, yay! It was true. Okay. For yours, I would say, did y'all get those magnetic, the wand? Where have y'all done the where they put the little chips for each sound or each letter? What's that called?
We have my math boards, the magnetic boards for like
Yeah, the
Elconin
boxes.
boxes.
Yes.
I have a little that years ago they bought for bilingual for my class. I requested it. It's like an Elconin box where you can count the sounds in a word, or you can use it to count words in a sentence.
Okay.
You can decide how to use it.
Well, do y'all have the little bingo chips? Have they given y'all that?
They're not magnetic. They are just, but they're okay. They are foam, I guess.
No, they're magnetic. I didn't think so either.
But I use my last year and previous years. I have been using my math boards, those magnetic for the 10 with the 10 frame.
Yeah. You know the magnets that y'all have in science? Do y'all teach all content, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the magnets that you hold with the handle. Take that one and bring it over those chips today and watch what happens.
Oh, they're blended together?
It's gonna pick them up. I was totally amazed. I was like, but they're plastic. But if you take that one and you roll it over them, and the kids love it. They absolutely love it. So you say, well, you can't pick it up until you put them in the boxes. So that gets them participating in those decoding and blending things that y'all do with the alchemy. I just thought, yeah, I'm passionate about that kind of stuff. So I love stuff like that. I was like, anything that's fun and I get them into it. That works for me. Okay, on the second page as well, I did your grouping. And this, like I said, is just a suggestion of rotation. Yours worked out to where you only had 3 rotations. You have 19 students, correct? And you have
22
students. Okay. All right, guys. Well, all of this is a Title I school, so all of our students here are considered at the poverty level. And I know that's really bad to say, but truth is truth.
At risk?
At risk. And if you look in there skyward, I think after 3rd grade, it's gonna have whether they're gonna graduate or not, based on how they test.
It has it now.
It has it now. Is that fair? I don't think that's fair. It is what it is. I think they were saying, research also said that based on the 3rd graders' STAR results, they build jails or they build colleges.
Oh.
I know, right? When I heard that, I was like,
That's scary.
wow. Okay. So this is just a suggested grouping. I only put your students once because I didn't feel I had to keep putting these, and they don't change. So I just put your rotations based on group 1, 2, or 3. But the students will stay the same, and it also gives the activities, which we know we will get from in class. And then I put some recommendations, like I did for her, on the back. Recommendations for teacher.
I was just wondering, and I was asking Mrs. Grant yesterday, are we allowed to share some of the activities with some parents?
Absolutely.
There is no copyright problem. I don't want that.
No, actually, on your home report.
Okay. Yes, the Home Connect. I
Connect?
already printed to send it to the
So
parents.
at the bottom, at the very bottom, there's a link.
Oh, okay.
And it takes them to activities that they can do at home with the student.
So they can open it directly. Oh, I will.
And do y'all
Send them.
use Dojo?
Yes, yesterday I sent them a dojo message that you will be receiving this and that.
Okay. See, and I would
So,
send all my stuff through Dojo. It tracks it.
okay.
It tells you if they say, "Oh, I didn't get it." You read it at 9 p.m. on Sunday night. You know,
Yes,
so you
that
can
has
look at all
happened.
that. I mean, I don't know if you would do that, but
Yes,
I
I
had
have.
to.
I have
Yeah.
done it in the past, sometime with some parents.
And then
Okay.
for me, the digital world was like amazing because all of this is I'm not used to this. So like the Padlet, I did all of this on your Padlet, which I will share. I encourage you to look at those in class slides. I don't know if you guys are getting, which I think you are, it's some readers. Have they told y'all about that? So when you were saying iReady, the testing in iReady, it assigns the level of the reader for the readers that you guys are getting, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Say that one more time.
Okay, I'm gonna call them decodable readers, but that's not what they are. They are for decodable reading, but they have a specific name. If you test your students in iReady, it automatically assigns the level of that reader to that student. So you don't have to look at another, like you wouldn't have to look at this and say, okay, my baby's in first grade, he is the Dibbles composite, because your composites are down here. These are your composites. So I have a baby that's in yellow, and they're at 305 for BOY, which is beginning of the year, down here, right? And then you would have to say, okay, well, if I want to assign the decodable reader to them, I have to find out on the decodable reading levels what that 305 in Dibbles would be. So if you do the test in iReady, it takes all of that away. It just says, okay, here's their level in this, which is very helpful. So when you were saying you already assessed your students, yours is done. You already have it. Okay. Yours, today will be the last day.
Did you do already? But she's in English, so maybe she.
We've done already.
You did
Yes.
do already? Okay. So you'll have it as well. Okay. And I think your ELST will share with you guys about the new readers. And she's getting that training today. So I'm kind of giving you a little bit of information, putting the cart before the horse.
It looks like since we still have access to HMH,
You
so
do.
I am not too familiar with Boost. I need to take the time and navigate. I was telling Julie, Mrs. Lawrence, that I want to take the time so I can introduce the kids to that. But I was in that training we went at the beginning of the year. I can't remember was the first or second day. I asked them about that, and they said we were going to have access to HMH because
You
I
do.
love those decodable readers that we have
Yes.
from Arriba la Lectura.
Yes, you still have
So-
it. And Amira is through HMH as well.
Yes, because I know I can go to that little window, discover, but I say don't do anything
You
but
can.
Amira. Last year was it, right?
Okay.
So I was wondering, and the lady that was giving us the training, she said you will have access soon to that.
You still have it now.
I have
And
to
you
check it
going
out.
to Discovery it won't mess anything up with Amira.
Those books were really wonderful, a jewel, because they will come with rhyming words,
Yes.
the vocabulary of the week, that were the decodable words
Yeah.
that we were doing, so many activities, comprehension activities, so
If
hopefully
you
they're still there.
they are, and if you log into iReady and you go on your report screen and you go to the right hand side all the way down, those books that I was telling you guys that you're gonna get, you'll see those books in there as well.
Okay.
So you guys have tons of stuff, and you still have Newsella, that as well. For how many of your students like really just have no clue about reading, like not even a sight word?
I would say like, I have like 6 to 8.
Okay. Have you guys heard about Snap and Read?
No.
Okay. It's a extension that you can download.
Oh yes, I do have it.
Okay.
I
And
learned
for the
about it.
students, you can
Through
download
Ready Hub? We go to Ready Hub or?
Chrome.
I can give you the
Oh, okay.
little setup sheet that they gave me.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
gotta set it up for them.
put it on theirs, on the babies that can't really read,
Mhm.
and it helps, but not just reading it to them, but it literally highlights the words so they can see it, and if they follow along, it kind of builds that reading up for them.
Do you know if they can use that in like Mayan? Because I know in some Mayan books they read it
They
to
do
them.
that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I know like the Snap and Read, like when would they use?
Like if you have a Newsella article, if you put something on Seesaw, they can just, whatever they have up on their screen, as long as it's in Chrome, they just tap their little extension and it'll read. So it's whatever they bring up in Chrome that will help them to read. Now, the only thing I caution about that is if it's something that you see that they're constantly using and they're not getting any better with their reading, and you're not going to go and make it an accommodation for them, then, maybe we won't do it as much or at all. Because we don't want it to be a crutch. We just want it to be an enhancement so they feel some success to keep going. But it doesn't take away that you still have to learn these words and decode and blend and get your sounds and things together. And that might be for middle of the year or further down the road when you guys think that can happen.
Hey, is somebody is somebody taking those class or covering those class?
No idea.
Because
It's time for us to.
Because I've been walking around.
I'm
It's
so
10:16.
sorry.
It's okay. I just said I would walk them down.
You are amazing.
It's okay. It's okay. They're in the hallway with me. I'll watch them for right now and I'll finish up and
Okay.
stuff. But I was like, oh my gosh, like, and their poor babies are just walking around following me.
Right, thank you.
Sure.
I'm so sorry, y'all. I
I
kept
didn't
y'all
notice it was
forever.
10:16. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's 10:05 that we have.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Alvarado.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And I want to say your first name.
Michael.
Thank you, Michael. I try to practice the things that are hard for me. So, thank you guys, and thank you for participating. Give me some of your favorite things. What are some things y'all like? Because I'm going to be over here bothering y'all a lot this year.
Oh no, that's fine. I like the mirrors
The mirror
that they gave us.
I meant for you. Something I could do for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I like how you put them in the groups.
No, I want, like, if I want to give you a gift.
Oh! I thought you meant about work.
But thank you.
I like barbecue chips.
Barbecue chips.
And Snapple.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. All right. What about you?
Oh no, I just love books for children.
Books for
Whatever,
children,
if they're in
nice.
Spanish,
Oh,
I get very
okay.
excited as a kid.
And that's a lot of times we
I know
don't
that
think about.
multicultural books, not just any book, but I love, and I even have boxes when I get my grandchildren. The only one that don't know are my children, multicultural books.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are Spanish.
Awesome.
That's
Thank you
what I
guys for
enjoy as a teacher.
participating. I'm so sorry I kept y'all from y'all babies.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank
For your
you.
time. Goodbye.
All right. And y'all have a great day and a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
This concludes the meeting at Shorehaven Elementary with first grade Eli Esler. Data meeting for their in-class data on their at-risk students.